Landed property design secrets that seriously raise capital value, formerly kept secrets unless you were the client. The leading cause of cost and time overruns.
Now in this video, I'm going to share with you the leading causes of cost and time overruns. And what I mean by overruns is that you have put along a budget, but you have gone above that budget. You have gone beyond the time that you allocated for the project. Now I'm going to teach you how to avoid these mistakes so that you don't have that kind of issue. Now, one of the major causes of cost and time overruns is when you don't have a consultant with you, like an architect. Because then you are directly communicating with the contractor, and the moment you delay the decision making, or you're not sure, and if the contractor is installed but you might have not been sure and you said okay, that's where you have additional costs coming up and piling against you. Not only cost, but also time as well, because they're going to ask for more time in order to carry through that work that you had inevitably told them to do so. So in order not to have major cost overruns and time as well, you want to make sure that you make your decisions quickly, or make those decisions before you get the contractor on board. Now, if you had an architect, that would have been different, because the architect would have been able to make the decisions on behalf of you at the right time and the right moment, because they will be advising you on the technical considerations before the contract was even awarded. Now for number two is where owners want to get involved with the technical and the material considerations. When the architect is supposed to help you to handle that, that is a major cost and time overrun issue that will impact you if you want to get too involved with the construction process. Now, when it comes to major cost overruns, this is where it hurts, because if you don't have an architect on board and you have contracted with a contractor directly, and there's insufficient bill of quantities and design details being generated, there's nobody administering for you, nobody to check these things for you, that's where there can be major cost overruns. Because unless you're technically trained, then you won't be able to see where some of these problems might lie, where there might be delay in work, or there might be additional costs in material or in construction, in trade and labor issues. Therefore, get a good team to work for you. Get a good consultant team, like an architect and his consultant team, to make sure that they have the right design details and bills of quantities to ensure that everything is well quantified to deliver it and administer the contract on behalf of you. In number four, we have a major cost overrun issue, especially when the owner wants to get too involved with the project, where he overrides the architect on site because he felt that he wanted it to be done in this way and done that way. Well, the reason why architects normally, after the contract is awarded to the contractor, they don't get too involved on site is because the contractor has now taken over the site and they are responsible for the process and the method in which they want to build the building, right? So when an owner gets too involved, especially on site, then the contractor starts to listen to the owner, thinking that it's an instruction coming from the owner, and that's where the owner is now exposed to additional costs, because the methodology may have changed, may have been different from the way the contractor quoted initially when they got the award, and that's something that's very dangerous. So I would tell owners, just leave it to the architect will administer it on behalf of them. They'll know how to chase up the contractor to ensure that the contractor's time and cost are well controlled and maintained. There's also the danger of wanting to install something after that part of the house has been completed. For example, I had an owner that wanted to put a very large jacuzzi on the rooftop. Now that would have been an overload. The punctual load would then require the engineer to redesign it and the contractor to put strengthening onto the floor slab on the roof, and maybe even additional beams and columns. Now that's really expensive, and it's going to cause a lot of delay as well. Another area is when the owner wants to have a very, very sophisticated integrated IT system to be incorporated into his house. especially one that's going to be supporting the sound equipment, the telecommunications equipment, and some of the computing devices, as well as the home automation. Now, all these are okay to be installed, but they have to be considered right from the day you start to design this and before the contract is awarded to the contractor. Because if you want to make these decisions after the contract has been awarded, it's really going to cost you a lot of cost and time, because there's going to be changes in the structure, there's going to be changes in the mechanical and electrical requirements, as well as the architectural finishes. So all the trades are typically linked in a particular flow, and if that flow is disrupted, that's where the cost comes in. So this is where the architect will round up the whole discussion for you to help you to decide what you want to do with your lifestyle requirements, on top of adding the capital value gain that I'm going to talk to you a lot more about. So I'll see you in the next video.